Monster Hunter Wilds. You jump onto the game ready to fight the largest and baddest monsters out there. You're ready for anything. You've got your Mountain Dew, you've got your Doritos, you're ready to go. And then the largest monster that every gamer fears rears its ugly head. Lag. And I'm Serial Overdrive, and today I'm going to help you fight lag. We're going to be going over some options you can change, some things that are pretty easy to do, and then we're going to be diving deep into how you can hack into the game and change some settings to optimize things beyond what the game was ever intended to do. So first things first, let's jump into the options. Let's go over all the basics. So first off, Monster Hunter Wild is a very interesting game when it comes to performance. There's some issues, and that's a bit of an understatement, but some of those issues are related to you. If you got a lot of stuff running in the background, if you're recording a video or anything like that, it's not going to work if you run on an 88. Back in 2008, it was all the rage, but it's not anymore. Anyways, what I'm talking about here is disable all the backgrounds. A lot of the time, overlays and things like that do cause issues. If you have the NVIDIA overlay running, if you got the Steam overlay running, get those out of there. Disable those. If you got your browser open, shut that down. Anything you've got running, close it all down. See if the game works better. Because if it does, then you know what the problem is, and you can work from there. You want to make sure all of your drivers are up to date. Graphics drivers, those are always important, but also CPU motherboard drivers. Some people have mentioned that updating those does fix a lot of the issues that they're running into. In addition to that, note up here, you've got estimated VRAM usage. Pay attention to that. Some people are just running over memory and just playing with that. That can fix everything. Now, when you go to the graphics, there's a few things that you want to do. For graphics settings, set everything to lowest right off the bat. The reason you want to do this is because this is just a good baseline. Run the game with lowest and see if you're still having issues. If you are, that means that lowest settings doesn't work and you're going to have to get down and dirty and start hacking away at some of these config files. Or you're going to have to refund the game or just wait for your system or the game to get better optimized. Next things. When it comes to upscaling, there are some issues with this. Specifically, if you have a 30 series card, you might need to stop using DLSS and go to AMD FSR 3 or just completely disable it. It's up to you. Honestly, I'd say try disabling it first and see how that goes. If you see a noticeable improvement, then maybe you can try FSR. If you got a 30 series card, though, I'd honestly just start with FSR. If you don't have a 30 series card, DLSS might be fine. When you're in this mode, upscaling, you should always set it to quality if you can. And frame generation, you tend to want that disabled. Some people have said there's something weird going on with frame generation, so don't play with it for now. Unless you see some issue, unless you see some improvements, of course. Ray tracing, just turn that off. This should be a no-brainer. Texture quality lowest, texture filtering quality lowest, and this is one of the things I wanted to bring up. So when it comes to this, sometimes like medium is the lowest you can go. It's a little bit weird, but that's just the case. You do want to check all of your settings here because you can see sometimes the graphics settings just update to custom, and that can change things. And you'll see even here, there's some oddities here, right? So you can see everything's low, but then you got render distance that's set to high. So you want to set this down to low too. So make sure you go through your settings and check that everything was correctly set, because there are some issues where people don't go into these further pages, and then it turns out that there's things on that they didn't expect to be on. For instance, you can turn your bloom off, motion blur off. You can turn all of this off. Just try with it. Also, volumetric fog, you can go into your settings and turn that off. We'll go over that later because that's actually a really good sort of hack that you can do. But next, we're going to jump over here to this setting right here because there are some issues that are going on here. First off, it's nice that they give you a display selection. One of the issues that people are having here is with their display selection. If you've got two monitors and they're running at different resolutions, the thing you're going to run into here is when your shaders are compiled, they're compiled for the resolution that you're on. So what's going to happen is sometimes you switch displays and the shaders aren't recompiling. So what you want to go do is you want to go into your shader cache files. That would be in your game folder. You find the shader cache files and just delete them all, get rid of them. The shaders are going to need to optimize again, but after they're optimized, what's going to happen is the game's going to run a lot smoother. And then you don't want to keep switching between displays because you're going to have to do this every time. Now, when it comes to screen mode, some people have run into issues versus like with borderless versus windowed mode. Because it's borderless window versus windowed, there shouldn't be too big of an issue. People do run into issues here, so play with that. When it comes to screen resolution, go as low as you're willing to go. If you're willing to do 1280 by 720, do this. This is going to help the game run better. Frame rate also, this is another thing that a lot of people do forget about. Lower your frame rate. Sometimes people just they set it up to 360 and they think we'll get as good as we can get. But what's going to happen is you might be going from 30 to 60 to 90 back to 30. It's going to give you a wonky feel. What you want to do is find the best frame rate that you can run at, what you're usually running at, and that's where you want to cap things. For me, it was 60. For some people, it might end up being 30. And that's completely okay because honestly, capped at 30, you're going to get a better experience running 30 the whole time than you are going to be jumping from 30 to 60. That's just a worse experience, in my opinion. Another thing you want to pay attention to is HDR output. Just some people are having some weird issues with this. Try disabling it, see if it fixes things. Generally, it won't, but I think some people have reported that it does fix it. Another one that a lot of people are reporting like is broken is VSync. If it's enabled, disable it. That fixes a whole lot of issues for a lot of people. Now we're going to get into the hacky part of this video, and this is sort of how you do some crazy things that will help. First off, there is something that was found by Guy777, and what this does is this is a way that you can get DLSS 4 running in Monster Hunter's Wild. It will work for all games that don't have DLSS 4. The caveat here is you need a 20 series card or newer. I could go over how to do it, but the problem with this is going to be a select amount of people that are going to want to do this because it is a little bit detailed. You need to download a profile inspector.zip, unpack it, install it, and play with a few settings just to get things to work. So I'm going to post a link down below to the Reddit page that goes over how to do this. Next up, there's a way that you can turn off volumetric fog. Again, I found this on Reddit. This is bonus perfect 863. And what you need to do is go to the game folder. You're going to find config.ini. And if you can't find the config file, you need to launch the game. But if you're here without launching the game, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Also, if you haven't hit subscribe, it'd be really nice to do it because I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but it'd be really cool to get to 100K. Anyways, you can go into the INI, press Control F, and search for volumetric fog control. You're going to see something that says volumetric fog control _ enable equals true. Change that to false, and now volumetric fog is gone, and some of you are going to get a slight performance boost from that. And one last thing that I want to just throw out there is if you've got an AMD card, what you want to do is make sure your drivers are updated because some of the old drivers are having issues. The latest drivers should fix a lot of problems that people are running into. Just wanted to put that PSA out there. I know I said update your drivers and all that and turn off all the background stuff that's running. Close Chrome, close YouTube. You shouldn't be listening to this video. I know I'm great. Play it on your phone instead of on your computer. Just do stuff like that. It really is going to help with Monster Hunter Wilds. It's going to help it run better. But yeah, update your drivers. Make sure everything's going good. If you've got this game on Steam, another thing you want to do is you're going to right-click on the game. You're going to go to Properties, go to Installed Files, and then hit Verify Integrity of Game Files. This just makes sure that everything's legit. If you're running into crashings, stuttering, anything like that, sometimes just verifying the integrity of game files can fix a lot. And that's all I've got for now, but if I find anything good, if there's any crazy updates that really will increase performance, I'm going to make another video on it, a PSA of sorts. So keep an eye out for those videos. YouTube doesn't really recommend a lot of my videos because I try to be short, sweet, to the point. I try to help people throughout various games, and that means that all my videos aren't relevant to all my subscribers. So if you want, in another week or so, if you remember, search Serial Overdrive Monster Hunter and see if anything pops up, or you can just message me on Discord or whatever to see what's going on, or just check my latest videos and ping me there. But I will try to help if I can. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that I helped you get a little bit more out of this game. And until next time, peace.